Be yourself. He has all the skills and ability to do it. Just be yourself, and we'll watch your back.
Given the record of the Tuskegee Airmen, that's no empty promise. Michelle Miller, CBS News, New York.
Thanks for joining us this half hour. This is CBS News Up to the Minute.
This week, it's the road to the inauguration. Tonight, how she hopes to stir a nation with her words. Poet Elizabeth Alexander on the CBS Evening News. CBS News. Experience you can trust.
Fighting flares. Israeli troops advance into the outskirts of Gaza City. Killer cold, freezing temperatures, and blizzard conditions blanket the plains and Midwest. And parting shots. In his final news conference, President Bush says the burdens of the office are overstated.
Why me? Oh, the burdens, you know what? Why did the financial collapse have to happen on my watch? It's just pathetic, isn't it? Self-pity.
This is the CBS Morning News for Tuesday, January 13th, 2009.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle Gielim. We begin this morning in the Middle East, where Israeli troops are closing in on the largest city in Gaza, Gaza City. Here's the latest. Israeli ground forces are battling Hamas in the Gaza City suburbs. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon travels to the Mideast today to try to broker a truce. More than 900 Palestinians have been killed, more than half of them civilians. Charlie Daggett is in London with the details. Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning to you, Michelle. The Israeli military says its aircraft attacked more than 60 targets, including tunnels used to smuggle arms across the border from Egypt, as ground troops continue their push on Gaza City.
Helicopter gunships lit up the dawn sky, and the ground trembled with thunderous explosions in Israel's relentless assault of Gaza. Ground forces tighten their grip on Gaza City, aiming to crush Hamas as international pressure mounts on Israel to put down its guns.
We don't ask the international community to share this war with us, but we ask the international community to give us time to continue this work.
From his hideout, the deposed prime minister of Hamas remained defiant, vowing victory over Israel. Since the bombardment began 18 days ago, more than 900 people have died.
Nearly a week ago, the United Nations Security Council passed a resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire. Now, the Secretary General is on his way to the region to reinforce his message, just stop now.
In the name of humanity and international law, this resolution must be observed.
But both sides reject the resolution, and Israel has threatened even further escalation, giving warnings to residents to get out. I was at my grandfather's house, says this boy. I heard the shelling and ran away. But Palestinians are running out of places to hide. May God take revenge on the people who've done this to us, she says. Caught in the middle of a bloody fight between Israel and Hamas, civilians continue to pay the biggest price.
Now, the UN Secretary General's trip will include stops to Turkey, Lebanon, and Syria. Most importantly, perhaps a visit to Egypt to discuss ongoing peace talks that have been held separately with Israeli and Hamas leaders. Michelle.
Charlie Daggett in London. Charlie, thanks. Confirmation hearings begin this morning for Secretary of State nominee Hillary Clinton. Clinton will appear before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, which is sure to have questions about her husband's business dealings. Joel Brown is in Washington with the details. Joel, good morning.
Good morning to you, Michelle. Mrs. Clinton should expect some pointed questions about her husband, but nothing that likely throws her nomination into doubt. It's widely expected Senator Hillary Clinton will sail through today's confirmation hearing.
If confirmed, I will give this assignment, your administration, and our country my all.
But before she can take the helm of the State Department, the former First Lady will face a host of tough questions from the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, dealing with everything from Iraq to the current Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the promised closure of the Guantanamo Bay prison camp. But for many lawmakers, the big question is the other Clinton. They want more details on a deal between Hillary Clinton and Mr. Obama, aimed at making sure her husband's charitable work won't be a conflict of interest.
The best way to help now is to make a cash donation.
Former President Bill Clinton agreed last month to 9 conditions, making his business deals and charity work more transparent. But he's raised eyebrows from the get-go.
There will be questions raised, I'm certain, in the Foreign Relations Committee hearing as to whether this is adequate, and even more, I suppose, to the point, what will former President Clinton's role be?
The committee's chairman, Senator John Kerry, has reportedly said he doesn't see any sticking points that would prevent Clinton's confirmation. But the panel still needs to vote on the appointment Thursday before she can hang up her Senate hat and become the nation's top diplomat. So the Senate committee, so confident of a quick Clinton confirmation, they reserved that hearing room for today only. Senator Clinton could be in place as the next Secretary of State by Inauguration Day. That's next Tuesday, Michelle.
She's on the fast track. All right, Joel Brown in Washington. Joel, thanks. President Bush bids a formal farewell to the nation during a televised address Thursday night. Yesterday, it was no holds barred for the president, who is sometimes emotional, sometimes defiant, as he reflected on the past 8 years. Susan Roberts reports.
In his last news conference before leaving office, Mr. Bush defended his record and admitted some mistakes.
Presidents can try to avoid hard decisions and therefore avoid controversy. That's just not my nature. I believe the phrase burdens of the office is overstated. Yeah, it's kind of like, why me? Oh, the burdens, what? Why did the financial collapse have to happen on my watch? It's just pathetic, isn't it? Self-pity.
The president believes this moment was among his biggest mistakes.
Major combat operations in Iraq have ended. Clearly, putting a mission accomplished on an aircraft carrier was a mistake. It sent the wrong message. There have been disappointments. Abu Ghraib obviously was a huge disappointment during the presidency. Not having weapons of mass destruction was a significant disappointment.
The president said that his administration responded quickly to Hurricane Katrina, but that it could have done a better job.
People said, well, the federal response was slow. Don't tell me the federal response was slow when there was 30,000 people pulled off roofs right after the storm passed.
Mr. Bush also spent some time talking about the future, offering praise and advice to President-elect Barack Obama.
The most urgent threat that he'll have to deal with and other presidents after him will have to deal with is an attack on our homeland.
After Mr. Obama takes the oath of office next week, President Bush plans on keeping a low profile.
And so I wake up in Crawford Wednesday morning, and I suspect I'll make Laura coffee and, go get it for her. And it's going to be a different feeling.
But before he steps off the stage, President Bush will give a farewell address to the nation Thursday night. Susan Roberts, CBS News, the White House.
On the CBS News Money Watch, stock markets in Asia slid this morning on earnings news from Sony. Claire Lake is in New York with more. Claire, good morning.
Good morning to you, Michelle. That's right. Electronics giant Sony will reportedly turn in its first quarterly loss in 14 years. That sent Asian stocks tumbling overnight. Japan's Nikkei lost 4 3/4%. Hong Kong stocks fell 2%. Russia started pumping gas again this morning to Europe through neighboring Ukraine after a 6-day cutoff that left large parts of Europe cold and dark. Alcoa kicked off what's expected to be a dismal fourth quarter earnings season last night, the aluminum giant says. It lost nearly $2 billion last quarter because of plunging aluminum prices and weak demand. Citigroup shares dropped 17% yesterday to their lowest level in 15 years. Investors fear that Citi's plans to sell its Smith Barney brokerage business to Morgan Stanley could be the first step in a government-forced plan to break up the huge banking giant. The Dow starts the day down 125 points at 8474. The Nasdaq begins off 32. This morning, disgraced Wall Street investor Bernard Madoff is still confined to a $7 million New York City penthouse. A federal judge allowed him to remain free on bail yesterday, but there are new restrictions to keep him from mailing any more valuables to his friends and family. And are you looking for work in this tough economy? Why not head down under? The Queensland Tourism Board is looking for a caretaker for Hamilton Island, the second largest inhabited island in the Great Barrier Reef. Now, the job promises 6 months in an exotic location, promising year-round sunshine, sandy beaches, and warm lagoons, all plus a salary of $8,850 a month. Michelle, not a bad way to make a living.
Not bad at all. All right, we'll put it on the agenda, maybe for next year. All right, Claire Lake here in New York. Thanks, Claire. Okay. Just ahead on the morning news, fighting the common cold through better sleep. And later in sports, the slumping Celtics try to stay on track.
I'm Marie Osmond, and I was overweight. I mean, I procrastinated and procrastinated until finally I said, do something that's a no-brainer for me. Then I got Nutrisystem.
Introducing the all-new Nutrisystem with flexible new programs personalized to meet your individual needs. And now more food choices than ever, featuring 80 wildly decadent new recipes.
Nutrisystem helped me get smart again.
And Nutrisystem is healthy weight loss.
I lost 45 pounds on the Nutrisystem program.
Order your first 4 weeks of food now and get an extra 28 meals absolutely free. Plus, lock in these low prices for all of 2009, and your shipping is free. And Nutrisystem costs hundreds less than other weight loss programs, even $55 a month less than many Americans spend on food.
8 years to put it on and only 4 months to take it off.
Order now and get a week of meals absolutely free and lock in your pricing for all of 2009. This offer ends soon, so call or click now.
Watch this. Hey, Sling Dog! Yo!
Looking for a quick lunch?
How about Chili's? Welcome to Chili's.
Pepper in a quick break with Chili's Bottomless Express Lunch. Dig into our famous house-made chips and salsa. Enjoy our hot, tasty soups like chicken enchilada and choice of Caesar or house salad with unlimited refills. When you're starved for time, it's the perfect meal. Chili's, pepper in some express lunch, pepper in some fun.
Something new is happening at Ethan Allen. New looks, new style, new modern attitude. Introducing new modern living at Ethan Allen. Log on or visit a design center now.
Make sure you grind in some fresh pepper.
Nothing completes a meal like the fresh taste and aroma of McCormick grinders.
Susie, where's the pepper? I'll do it.
Thank you. Grinders from McCormick, the taste you trust.
In Chicago this morning, bundle up. An Alberta clipper from Canada is blasting most of the Midwest and the Upper Plains. Drivers in Nebraska yesterday faced whiteout and blizzard-like conditions, which caused serious accidents. South Dakota was hit by heavy snow, followed by very low temperatures. In Iowa, huge ice formations hung from a leaking water tower. And in Wisconsin, some people built an impressive snowman that was almost as tall as a 2-story house. A new study is a wake-up call about how much sleep you get. 30% of adult Americans only average 6 hours or less per night of sleep, and that can make you sick. Dr. John LaPook reports.
Can you breathe in and out with your mouth open for me?
Jessie Furness is a working mother with a common problem, the common cold. And like many people, she's sleep deprived.
How many hours of sleep do you usually get every night?
5 to 6.
And how many do you think you need?
8 to 9.
It turns out if you don't snooze, you lose. A study of 153 healthy people found those with less than 7 hours of sleep were almost 3 times more susceptible to getting a cold than those with 8 hours or more.
It's been shown that if you're sleep deprived, you have a lower level of those natural cells that have the ability to fight off infections.
And sleep deprivation can affect more than immunity. It can change hormones, making people eat more and gain weight. Other problems? Hypertension, diabetes, and just plain grouchiness.
Do you have any other symptoms of sleep deprivation?
Like what?
Are you cranky? Are you
My daughter would say I am.
While many people rely on sleeping pills, lab studies suggest that natural sleep may be more restorative.
Some of the medications can suppress certain parts of sleep which are very important for our normal functioning, particularly that kind of sleep called rapid eye movement sleep.
Here's a tip.
watch out for things that may be keeping you awake. That cup of coffee that you have in the morning may hang around until late at night and stop you from going to bed. Dr. John LaPook, CBS News, New York.
CBS Health Watch, sponsored by Lipitor.
Talk about a wake-up call. I had a heart attack at 57. My doctor told me I should have been doing more for my high cholesterol. What was I thinking? But now, I trust my heart to Lipitor.
When diet and exercise are not enough, adding Lipitor may help. Unlike some other cholesterol-lowering medications, Lipitor is FDA approved to reduce the risk of heart attack, stroke, and certain kinds of heart surgeries if you have several common risk factors or heart disease. Lipitor has been extensively studied with over 16 years of research. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. You need simple blood tests to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor if you are taking other medications or if you have any muscle pain or weakness. This may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect.
I learned the hard way, but you may be able to do something.
Have a heart-to-heart with your doctor about your risk and about Lipitor.
For people with diabetes, simple steps can mean a whole new start. Eat smarter. Delicious Glucerna shakes help minimize blood sugar spikes, which can help lower A1C levels. Glucerna, smart nutrition for people with diabetes.
Luxurious fragrance and softness for you and your clothes. Indulge your senses with new Snuggle Creme Fabric Softener.
Here's a look at the weather in some cities around the country. New York, mostly cloudy, 42. Miami, showers, 79. Chicago, blowing snow, 18 degrees. Denver, snow showers, 34. Los Angeles, 87. And time now for a check on the national forecast. The latest satellite picture shows a fast-moving winter storm pushing across the Great Lakes and Ohio River Valley, bringing blizzard conditions. Wind chill warnings have been issued. It may feel like minus 45 throughout the high plains and Great Lakes. Later today in the Northeast and Ohio Valley, there will be wind and as much as 4 inches of snow. In sports, there was plenty of overtime in the NBA. A steal by Oklahoma City's Russell Westbrook led to a Kevin Durant tip-in to force OT against the Nets in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Nets rookie Brook Lopez pulled down 13 rebounds and scored 31 points as the Nets beat back the Thunder 103-99. Toronto's Andrea Bargnani tied the Celtics to force overtime in Boston. Paul Pierce scored 9 of his 39 points in overtime as the Celtics beat the Raptors 115-109. 6th-ranked Oklahoma built an early lead against Texas in Norman. The Longhorns battled back to within 4 on a three-pointer by Damian James. But Oklahoma's Blake Griffin scored 20 points to go with his 10 rebounds as the Sooners beat number 11 Texas 78-63. Terrence Williams' game-winning hoop was called back on a backcourt violation, so he just kept on scoring in overtime as 20th-ranked Louisville upset number 12 Notre Dame 87-73. And the NFL's Tony Dungy is calling it a career.
I have a lot of people to thank, and my wife, Lauren, she told me to bring some Kleenex. I thought I would make it a little farther than the first sentence.
Well, Dungy is the first black coach to win a Super Bowl and the first person ever to make 10 straight playoff appearances.
I've been blessed, tremendously blessed, to play 3 years in the NFL and coach 28. And those 31 years have been fantastic.
He's not her type.
I drive a pickup.
She's not his dream.
You probably drive a new car and bow down to the big corporations that made a gravy train out of this country.
And would anybody like more gravy?
But in a small town like this...
I'll need to be carried by some sexy man.
You think I'm sexy, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny how life can turn around.
Wear something you can get dirty.
I'm stuck.
Marathon?
You said something dirty.
New in town. Rated PG-13. In theaters everywhere January 30th.
The rhinovirus, a leading cause of the common cold. Used to be you could only cover up the symptoms of your cold. Zicam is different. Taken at the first sign, Zicam is clinically proven to shorten a cold. Get over your cold faster with Zicam.
When you get to the scene of a fire, your heart starts pounding. And that kind of stress can really weaken your defenses. So I drink Dan Active every day. I love the taste. I feel like I'm helping to keep this engine running like it should.
Help strengthen your body's defenses.
They're the things you do every morning.
I get up first, so I make the coffee.
Good morning, South Florida.
Here are the stories making headlines.
I'll see you later. Love you.
Love you.
What's your morning routine?
Traffic on the highways not looking too bad.
Go to cbs4.com/morning and let us know.
Bye, Mommy.
Have a good day, honey. I'll see you later.
Don't forget that umbrella as you head out the door.
CBS 4 News. We want to be a part of your morning routine.
When you think of ultrasound, you probably think of pregnant women, right? That's only the tip of the iceberg. Diagnostic ultrasound technicians also check patients for problems of the heart, abdomen, and more. And the career field is growing as more doctors use ultrasound instead of x-rays. So if you want a career where you can help people and be in demand, call ATI for career training. The number is on your screen. Call ATI right now. One call can change your life. Call now.
On the CBS Morning News, here's a look at today's weather. Arctic air will be in place across parts of the upper Midwest as a fast-moving Clipper system tracks eastward and a second storm pushes into the region. In the southwest, Santa Ana winds are expected to continue. Here's another look at this morning's top stories. A fast-moving winter storm is blanketing the plains and upper Midwest with dangerously cold temperatures, biting wind, and snow, and the bone-chilling cold is heading east. It's center stage for Secretary of State nominee Hillary Clinton. Lawmakers are sure to have plenty of questions about her husband's business dealings during this morning's confirmation hearing. And Israeli troops advance through the suburbs of Gaza City. The Israeli Prime Minister warns Hamas it faces an iron fist unless it ends the fighting. For more on the Gaza fighting, let's join Richard Roth, who's on the Israeli-Gaza border this morning. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, Michelle. Well, Israel today says its forces are tightening their encirclement of Gaza City now after another round of heavy fighting and overnight bombing. The Israelis say more than 60 airstrikes hit targets ranging from tunnels used for smuggling arms to small squads of Hamas fighters operating on the outskirts of population centers. Even so, an Israeli officers claimed a lot of the damage to Gaza's infrastructure has been self-inflicted by Hamas, from buildings wired with explosives by Hamas fighters. Whether from booby traps or Israeli bombs, the result's a widening shortage inside Gaza of everything from safe housing to food and medical care. Gaza's Hamas leader, Ismail Haniyeh, sought to rally supporters, saying on TV, the blood being shed will not be in vain. But with little electricity in Gaza, most of his people wouldn't have been able to hear him. Israel's claiming its offensive is at a decisive stage. Prime Minister Olmert saying his army won't stop attacking until Hamas can't fight back. Both sides are now dropping hints there's still a chance to avert an all-out battle in Gaza's biggest population center, but Israel still says Hamas has to stop firing rockets to southern Israel and stop smuggling weapons into Gaza, and Hamas says not until Israel pulls back its military. Michelle?
All right, Richard Roth on the Israel-Gaza border. Richard, thank you. This morning on the early show, Dave Price will have the latest on the Midwest cold snap. I'm Michelle Gielim, and this is the CBS Morning News.
For people with diabetes, simple steps can make it a whole new day. Snack smarter with delicious Glucerna bars. They help minimize blood sugar spikes, which can help lower A1C levels. Glucerna, smart nutrition for people with diabetes.
I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles.
Shower your skin with our richest blend of cream and natural oil. Dove Cream Oil Body Washes for velvety soft skin. The ultimate moisture from Dove.
Sometimes life can be, well, a little uncomfortable. But when it's hard or hurts to go to the bathroom, there's Dulcolax Stool Softener. Dulcolax Stool Softener doesn't make you go, it just makes it easier to go. Dulcolax Stool Softener. Make yourself comfortable.
Each of these 124 delicious Campbell's soups contains no MSG. In fact, we make more soups with no MSG than anyone else even makes soups. Campbell's.
Netting Barn has the largest selection of the world-famous Tempur-Pedic at the guaranteed lowest discount prices. You gotta feel it to believe it. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
In Florida, Davie, Tamarack, Deerfield Beach, Boynton Beach, and West Palm Beach.
When you think of ultrasound, you probably think of pregnant women, right? That's only the tip of the iceberg. Diagnostic ultrasound technicians also check patients for problems of the heart, abdomen, and more. And the career field is growing as more doctors use ultrasound instead of x-rays. So if you want a career where you can help people and be in demand, call ATI for career training. The number is on your screen. Call ATI right now. One call can change your life. Call now.
Betting Barn celebrates the American spirit with the greatest names in bedding and linens. You'll flip over Sealy, Stearns & Foster, Latex, Serta, Spring Air, Two-Sided Englander, Tempur-Pedic, Ralph Lauren, Wum, Serta, and more at the lowest discount prices.
In Florida, Davie, Tamarack, Deerfield Beach, Boynton Beach, and West Palm Beach.
President-elect Barack Obama is talking with Congress about how to spend the second installment of the $700 billion financial bailout fund. As Cheryl Atkinson reports, money from the first installment was not used as originally intended.
When Congress passed the $700 billion bailout, the whole idea was to buy failed mortgage assets. But once the bill became law on October 3rd, Henry Paulson's Treasury Department moved quickly on an entirely different front. Give bailout money to select banks to help them buy competitors. It was largely under the public radar, with only anonymous government officials acknowledging the strategy.
Breaks with congressional intent.
Founding to me, Congress was lied to.
But CBS News has learned the banking industry was clued in from the start. Listen to what BB&T Bank's chief executive told analysts in a conference call shortly after the bailout passed. He's not talking about using bailout funds to help with mortgages or consumer credit, but to buy other banks.
This is a relatively inexpensive way to raise capital for acquisition opportunities.
A month later, they got $3 billion in bailout money. Just look at all the banks we found that have gotten taxpayer bailout funds and are gobbling up the competition. Bank of America received $15 billion and bought Merrill Lynch, which got $10 billion even as it was up for sale. Morgan Stanley is buying China Trust Bank. A half dozen more got bailout money and are buying other banks. Nobody from the Treasury Department would respond to our questions, but some analysts say the idea is to strengthen the banking industry by giving strong banks the means to take over weak ones. It's not necessarily working out that way. Some banks, judged by federal regulators as strong, like Merrill Lynch and Provident Bank shares, are the very ones getting bought out. And some in Congress are upset that the Treasury Secretary is handpicking winners and losers.
Hank Paulson gets to decide who lives and who dies, who buys whom.
Take PNC Bank and National City. Both wanted bailout money, but only PNC got it, then bought National City.
You picked a winner, PNC, and you picked a loser, National City Bank.
Congressman Dennis Kucinich is from Cleveland, where National City was based, and grilled the Treasury official in charge of the bailout, Neil Kashkari.
With deep respect, it is not appropriate for me to speak about an individual institution, but I can talk generally about these types of transactions.
Well, with deep respect, you know, you put 4,000 people out of work in the city of Cleveland. Are you taking the Fifth Amendment here?
No, sir. I don't think it's a good use of taxpayer money to put taxpayer capital into a financial institution that's going to fail.
Well, you know what? That statement that you just made, you will hear about for the rest of your career.
With the bailout billions so far helping banks but not the mortgage crisis, congressional leaders this week said no further bailout money will be given to Treasury without much stricter conditions. Cheryl Atkinson, CBS News, Washington.
That's the CBS Morning News for this Tuesday. Have a great day.
For news 24 hours a day, log on to cbsnews.com.
CBS News is very good news.
A lot happens early on the road to the inauguration with the first mother-in-law moving in. We look back at other first relatives and what went on behind closed doors on the early show coming up.
All this week, it's the road to the inauguration. Tonight, how she hopes to stir a nation with her words. Poet Elizabeth Alexander on the CBS Evening News.
NCIS tonight on CBS.
Accurate, dependable. CBS 4 weather. You can count on it.
Good morning, South Florida. I'm Jim Barrett.
And I'm Cynthia Demas. Here's what's making news right now. A drastic way to protest drastic school cuts. Some South Florida parents are on a hunger strike right now. We're live.
A South Florida congressman today makes a big announcement how Kendrick Meek could seek to change the face of Florida politics.
Reunited with a long-lost memento, how Ring ended up in a South Florida pawn shop and what the owner has to say about getting it back after 20 years.
Wow. CBS 4 News This Morning starts right now.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
It is 5 a.m. on Tuesday, January 13th. It's not Friday the 13th, it's Tuesday the 13th, so I guess that's not unlucky. I think it's all right. I'm Jim Barry.
I'm Cynthia Demas, and I think Lisette Gonzalez is going to tell us we're pretty lucky with the weather. Is that right, Lisette?
One more day, right?
Oh, one more warm day. You are right about that, Jim and Cynthia. And good morning to all of you at home. Right now, we're lucky because look at these temperatures in comparison to the rest of the country, where already in portions of the southeast temperatures are dropping to below freezing. Right now, Fort Lauderdale, you're waking up with 74 degrees. In Miami, 71. But as we look farther inland in West Kendall, big spread there. We're seeing cool air, and West Kendall hitting 58 degrees. We also have areas of patchy fog once again for the interior sections of South Florida, so keep that in mind. And here's that front I showed you yesterday. Right now, it's producing a lot of rainfall for folks up to our north across the Panhandle and the Big Bend. This is going to slowly slide down south as we get a second push. That second stronger front is going to bring this wet weather down to the southern tip of the peninsula. So later on this afternoon, we are expecting the chance of some showers, maybe a thunderstorm, especially as we head towards rush hour. It will be very warm, 83 degrees and humid this evening. Still the chance of breezy showers, 70 degrees. But get ready for the big chill because those temperatures will be dropping drastically. We'll have more on a series of cold fronts that are on the way. Right now, Christina Loren is going to have more on your commute and your traffic this morning. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning to you, Lisette. Starting off accident-free. That's always good news for a Tuesday morning. We do have some road construction to tell you about that could impact your commute this morning, so let's take it to the maps. You're going to find construction this morning at the Don Shula Expressway entrance. The ramp is actually closed right now at Kendall Drive. The same goes for the Snapper Creek this morning, and that's one of those ongoing projects that's going to probably last throughout the rest of this month and next month as well. We'll keep you posted here. And a big turnpike closure took place last night. All north and southbound lanes were closed near Southwest 8th Street. We're expecting the same closure tonight, and that's mostly going to be on the southbound side. They may not shut down the northbound lanes. We don't know just yet. We'll let you know. If you are going to be traveling on the turnpike, they'll allow extra time for that detour during the off-peak hours. Miami International, Fort Lauderdale, all flights leaving on time right now. We'll let you know if that changes. For CBS 4 Traffic, I'm Christina Loren.